Otso Diretso fires back at Duterte, "Don't be onion-skinned." The Otso Diretso senatorial candidates remind President Rodrigo Duterte it is the opposition's job to criticize the wrongdoings of the administration. Otso Diretso candidates clapped back at President Rodrigo Duterte for insulting them, reminding him it is the opposition's job to be critical of the administration. On Monday, March 4, senatorial bet and human rights lawyer Jill Diokno told the president he should not be onion-skinned. Alalahanan natin ang sinabi ang aking ama, yes, men are not compatible with democracy. We can strengthen our leaders by pointing out what they are doing that is wrong. Tungkilan ang opposition na kuwestayunan, punahan, at magbigay ang alternatibo sa pagpapatakbo sa pamahalaan. Huwag naman sanang balot sibuyas ang ating pangulo, ito ang diwa ang demokrasya, said Diokno. Let us remember what my father said, yes, men are not compatible with democracy. We can strengthen our leaders by pointing out what they are doing that is wrong. It is the job of the opposition to question, criticize, and give alternatives to how the government is running the country. The president should not be onion-skinned. This is the spirit of democracy. Duterte hurled slurs at the opposition coalition's senatorial lineup during a campaign rally for his political party's slate on Sunday, March 3, in Zamboanga City. In rallying support for the administration bets, the president asked the crowd, "Who will you vote instead of that 8 straight to hell?" Another Otso Diretso candidate, former Solicitor General Florin Hilb, told Duterte he should not take the opposition's criticism personally. Mr. President, ang trabaho po ang opposition ay tumatal sa gamaling ginagawa ang administrasyon niyo. Demokrasya pa rin naman tayo, at hindi diktatorya, di ho ba? Wala pong personalan, trabaho lang, said Hilb. Magdalo Representative Gary Alejano also did not mince words against the president, whom we once tried to impeach. Ang eleksyon sa Mayo ay hindi nakasentro sa yun tingin mo si qualifications ang gatumatakbo ay ang tatahimik at tango sa kakagustaan mo. Ang eleksiyong ito ay para sa kinabukasan ng Pilipino, said Alejano. The elections in May are not centered on you and your view that a candidate is qualified only if they are silent and would be a puppet just agreeing to what you want. The elections are about the future of Filipinos. On Sunday, Duterte mentioned specific Otso Diretso candidates in his speech, including Resign Bangsamoro Transition Commission member Samira Gutok. But the president refrained from saying anything against Gutok because she is a woman. Gutok first thanked Duterte for his recent show of respect for her. But she also called on the president to stop the drug war that has killed thousands. I appeal to your better senses to stop the bloodier drug war for the second half of your presidency. Mr. President, I respect your drug war, pero ang kailangan po natin ay drug war laban sa mga drug lords at drug war kontra sa source ng droga. We should work for better enforcement, said Gutok. I appeal to your better senses to stop the bloodier drug war for the second half of your presidency. Mr. President, I respect your drug war, but we need a drug war against the drug lords and against the sources of drugs. We should work for better enforcement. She then sought justice for the victims of the government's anti-drug campaign. At nazon po ang udaparasum ga biktima na poang nakashorts at nakit signless. Nazon po ang gadapat na improvements para mapabilizang justisya sa ating bansa? At nazon po ang accountability ang ganakibahagay sa mga drug operations na nakipata ang gawalang laban at inosente? Said Gutak. And where is the assistance for the victims in shorts and slippers? Where are improvements to hasten the granting of justice in our country? And where is the accountability from those who took part in drug operations that killed the defenseless and the innocent?